TLC is only 5 days away, so what did the Blue brand do this week to ramp it up heading into their big epic Smackdown exclusive brand pay-per-view tables, ladders, and chairs? Well, boy, you're going to want to hear this one. New matches made, new ramifications, new stipulations, and a whole lot of craziness, including James Ellsworth sent to the hospital. Oh boy. All this and more on this week's edition of the Smackdown Rebound. Hello everybody, my name is Gunnar, OKayFabe, your official One Wrestling video YouTube video correspondent for Smackdown Live right here on the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel, of course over at OneWrestling.com. We thank you guys for tuning in and coming in back to the channel and checking out this week's edition of the Smackdown Rebound, where of course we're going to cover everything and anything that pertains to Smackdown Live. This, of course, we're going to cover the November 29th, 2016 as we are heading in. It is the go-home show for Smackdown, heading into tables, ladders, and chairs. Whole lot of craziness, new matches made, new stipulations made, and someone got sent to the hospital. Wasn't me this time. I swear it wasn't me. But anyway, guys, before we get into all that, I want to make sure you guys, to remind you guys, if you guys haven't done so already, there's a subscribe button, there's a like button down there. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe and like button. Who doesn't love the thumbs up? And make sure you share this video to the entire internet. Share it on the social media. And speaking of social media, make sure you give all the entire members of the OneWrestling.com family the love over on the social media. All the links for everybody are down in the description box below, including myself, OKayFabe RWP. Of course, you got Billy Ray. We've got Big Slam Nation, Big Ray, of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Make sure you follow all of us on the various social media, Twitter, Facebook. All those links are down in the description box below, and make sure you leave us your thoughts, your comments. Please be nice about this week's Smackdown Live. Let us know what you guys think heading into TLC. So SmackDown this week kicked off with a women's contract signing, as we finally had the contract signing between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss for their match at TLC. Of course, contract signings always go so well, right? As the two women exchanged heated words, Becky Lynch cracked Alexa Bliss in the face, but ultimately ending up on the turnbuckle somehow, with Alexa Bliss pushing Becky off the top and going through the contract signing table. Later on throughout the evening, we found out that Becky Lynch was issued a challenge from Alexa Bliss to change their SmackDown Women's Championship match at TLC into a tables match, which Becky Lynch has agreed. So there we have it now. We have our tables match, ladders match, chairs match, and TLC match all stepped away for tables, ladders, and chairs. I'm going to review the entire TLC card, just kind of briefly go over it at the end of this video, so make sure you guys tune in towards the very end. Speaking of TLC, we had TLC opponents team and face off one another as Dolph Ziggler and Kalisto took on Intercontinental Champion Miz and Baron Corbin. This matchup was actually really very surprisingly well done. Usually these kind of matches are obviously thrown together to kind of help promote the pay-per-view match that we're going to see heading into this Sunday, of course. But the interesting dynamic is that all four of these men have worked with each other in weird ways, shape, or form. Kalisto fighting Miz, of course, last week for the Intercontinental Championship. Baron Corbin having a feud with Dolph Ziggler before the brand split, if you guys remember that, right after WrestleMania 32. So it's interesting to see all four of these men work together. Of course, the matchup ended in a no contest when Baron Corbin just got absolutely frustrated and decided to smack Kalisto after hitting a Sereno del Sol onto the Miz, throwing out the match, unfortunately. But ultimately, I'm very curious to see exactly what sort of creative uses both Kalisto and Baron Corbin are going to have for each other with the steel chairs in their chairs match at TLC coming this Sunday. Let us know what you guys think, again, down in the comments section below. We were supposed to have a match featuring Carmella, but for some reason, not only do we not know the opponent, we never actually got to see the match. Carmella instead gets on the mic and once again trashes Nikki Bella, saying she's going to hurt her in her Bella twins. Can I say that? It's fine? Okay. She said it first. I'm just repeating. We'll just talk to the lawyers later. Point being, Carmella going off again on John Cena, all sorts of different aspects of more John Cena, Nikki Bella tantrum. And that's when Nikki Bella had enough. Storm the ring and end up in a brawl. So the matchup actually never even happened. Once again, a little bit more hype up, a little more excitement heading into their no disqualification match that's going to happen at TLC this Sunday. We also saw the return of the Ambrose Asylum. Yes, I'm sorry. There was no Mitch the Plant this week. I'm sorry. I know. Listen, we got the Ambrose Asylum back, okay? One miracle at a time here. One miracle at a time. Of course, his guest was none other than James Ellsworth, who was asking himself, how does he feel to be a member of the SmackDown Live roster? Did he ever think he would ever be here? And more importantly, he's got a future world title match now. And he wanted to know, who is he rooting for at TLC? Is he rooting for Dean? Is he rooting for AJ? And he said, well, to be honest, I'd love and honor to be fighting against you, Dean, but at the same time, I have beaten AJ Styles 3 times. And of course, this brings out none other than world champion AJ Styles, who is furious at the fact that once again, they keep repeating the fact that AJ Styles was beaten by James Ellsworth 3 times. This, of course, prompts AJ to simply go ballistic and go after both men, ultimately getting taken out Dean Ambrose. But the big spot, of course, was the fact that AJ Styles not only hit a steel chair over the back of James Ellsworth, that he was getting caught up in the ropes, but ultimately hitting the Styles clutch from the steel steps outside the ring onto the floor. Poor James Ellsworth had to be stretchered away in an ambulance. No update yet as far as his condition, but we'll see if he's going to be ready for this coming Sunday. But just brutal Styles clash, and I honestly thought that he nicked his head on the way down. It was very just surreal. Say what you will about James Ellsworth, but man, any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance, and possibly even a concussion. I hope he's doing okay. We actually saw another random matchup between, well, I shouldn't say random, but Luke Harper taking on Kane from a rematch from the Survivor Series kickoff pre-show this past couple of Sundays ago. We interestingly saw another promo featuring the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper, where basically Bray Wyatt was telling and ordering Harper to send Kane right back to hell. Apparently not an easy task, as Kane ended up getting the victory via chokeslam. Solid matchup, got a lot of time on the air, more so than I was actually surprised at, but it also kind of seemed to almost end abruptly. That was the only critique I had about this matchup, was that it felt it was somewhat out of nowhere, no pun intended, where Kane hit the choke slam, but then again, the choke slam is a volatile move and can be hit almost out of nowhere, but Kane ultimately getting the victory over Luke Harper. Main event time, the American Alpha, Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, taking on Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton of the Wyatt family. And ultimately, this matchup would determine who would go on to face Heath Slater and Rhino for the Smackdown Tag Team titles at TLC. To be honest with you guys, I was kind of like, hey, for me, it's a win no matter who wins. I could have, honestly, you could have given either of these teams to me to face Heath Slater and Rhino for the tag team titles at TLC, and I'd be a very happy man. This matchup was absolutely fantastic. It was great to see, American Alpha, who really hasn't had a whole lot of tag team experience as far as the main roster is concerned, take on 2 veterans, more or less. I mean, Bray Wyatt's been a veteran around, and obviously Randy Orton, his career and his legendary status speaks for itself. So it's very intriguing to see the dynamic between the 4 of them. I thought it was just a crisp, clean, fun match. Not really anything to complain about. It was just an entertaining, fun piece to watch. Ultimately, American Alpha falls a little bit short as the Wyatts do pick up the victory. And I have my hunch, I have my sneaking suspicion, and I'm going to hear it right here first in the Smackdown Rebound. I have a gut feeling that next week, Smackdown Live, we're going to see the Wyatts as the Smackdown Tag Team Champions. But I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give too much away. But real quick, as ultimately we close out the show, where AJ Styles was interrupting an interview between Heath Slater and Rhino in regards to their response to the Wyatts and the number 1 contenders. Ultimately, Dean did not take too kind to that, as he ended up beating the absolute ever-living hell out of AJ Styles to close out the show. Now again, ultimately this was a go-home show heading into TLC. So I was very excited. I was very intrigued by a couple of things. I thought the fact that they announced Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss as a tables match, it adds an interesting, different dynamic. Although personally, I would have loved to have seen them add that, make that stipulation on a little earlier before they really started to build the momentum with that particular matchup. As far as anything else goes, I mean, pretty much all of it is excitement and hype towards tables, ladders, and chairs. I thought the tag team match was interesting. I thought the American Alpha Wyatts matchup, for me personally, was hands down the match of the evening. I was not expecting that great of action. I thought it was going to be more or less of a quicker match. And same thing goes with Luke Harper and Kane. Did not expect that match to be as very deep and well done as it was. Not to discredit the individuals in the matchup, but I was thinking of a lot of short-term matches as far as the 2-hour time limit goes. But I digress. Tables, ladders, and chairs again this coming Sunday. I'm sure we'll have coverage right here on OneWrestling.com and One Wrestling Video on the YouTube channel. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share the video to the world. Let me know what you guys thought of this week's SmackDown, and let me know what you think of Tables, Ladders, and Chairs this Sunday. Leave those comments down in the comment section below. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Links are in the description. Real quick, we're going to break down the TLC card for you as it stands right now. We got Nikki Bella and Carmella. No disqualification match. You got the SmackDown Women's Championship is now a tables match. You've got Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss. Chairs match in a rivalry that's been going on for quite some time between Baron Corbin and Kalisto. Intercontinental Championship, The Miz will defend against Dolph Ziggler for the last time. We will see these two face off in a ladder match. Holy cow. Of course, as I previously mentioned, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton will actually challenge Heath Slater and Rhino for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And of course, the big one, the big kahuna, the main event, the TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Dean Ambrose takes on the champion AJ Styles. I think it's going to be an interesting pay-per-view. I cannot wait. Live this Sunday. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, all of us over at One Wrestling, so we can give you guys our thoughts and our live reactions to the pay-per-view, including myself. Thank you guys again for watching. Appreciate the continued love and support right here on the Smackdown Rebound. Thank you guys again. Appreciate all the continued love and support, as I just said that 2 seconds ago. And to quote the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.